Good, appropriate time of the day to you, friends and enemies. I am Richard, and this is LMTDTMFFR, or, say it with me now, limited time offer, no vowels. And how are you all doing today? I hope you're doing well on this Sunday. Exciting point-and-click Sunday where we start off a new game. And if you haven't looked at the title of this stream, we are going to be starting off Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper. Sherlock Holmes. His name is Sherlock. Yes, indeed. And indeed, limit entry, my dear Watson, as they jokingly say. It's hilarious, don't you know? Well, without further ado, let us switch on over to the excitement that is Jack the Ripper. Indeed, these are the levels of jokes, folks. Uh-huh. Sound and pictures. You get both on this stream. And text occasionally. And here we are, at the beginning of the case. Let's look and start a new game. New game? Yes. It looks stretched.
In the name of my health and yours,
yeah.
Holmes, stop smoking so much. There is more fog in our apartment than in the street.
You are right, Watson, but this evening is never ending, and I have nothing to do but make smoke rings. A more amusing pastime would suit better, but my doctor is against it.
Perhaps a little tune on the violin.
My heart is not in it tonight, Watson. Have you noticed how this cigarette burns? Would you not say it is like a life being consumed? How many lives will end tonight in London? How many crimes will be committed within the life of a single cigarette? Ah, the vanity of existence. It is but complaints and smoke, the meagre panache of its sickly soul.
The tobacco is giving you very somber thoughts. I am certain that this inactivity will not last. Let's retire. You'll be in better humour tomorrow.
Reason speaks. Let's to bed.
Separately, in our own rooms. There, that was, necessary for some reason, that introduction. Frogware presents a new adventure of Sherlock Holmes. There are so many. Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper. There are so many interpretations of Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper. A real-world event that was never solved versus a detective who was meant to be around at the same sort of time. Of course, people would want to see this crossover. I bet people were crying out for him to do it even as it was happening. You have a copy of this and you have never played it. Well, I will confess to having played some of this. I got to a point where it just did not register whatever I did. So I am hoping that is fixed. If not, we will get to that point and I will have to look up a guide to see how to skip past it.
Come this way, my lovely. We'll have a right good time. Wait, let me help you. Oh, it's my hair that pleases you.
I don't know how you got that just by looking down, but okay. I mean, I understand how you would get it pleases you, but not the hair. Yeah. I should have warned everybody, yes. This is gonna be... not necessarily grisly, but yeah, not exactly safe if you do not like blood, death, and things like that. So...
The news is as dark as the sky, Holmes. An inquest has been opened into the murder of a poor woman in the East End. The unfortunate girl was discovered last night, lying in the street,
2009
still warm.
graphics.
The murderer was filled with an
Top of the
incredible
line.
savagery. Oh, the article gave me shivers down my spine. The inspectors in charge of the case don't seem to have even the slightest lead. A similar murder took place less than a month ago.
Ah, love. A romantic walk, a kiss in the moonlight, a polite refusal, a terrible anger, and a hanging.
This area of Whitechapel is a disgrace to London. The government should take serious note of what is going on there.
Whitechapel? This woman was found in Whitechapel?
Yes, indeed. Bucks Row, to be specific.
Then it was not a question of romance, but of commerce. Unless these women actually take pleasure in the vice, the female nature is completely...
Holmes, do you hear yourself? A woman is dead under unspeakable circumstances. No less than any other, she was a human and one of Her Majesty's subjects. None of these streetwalkers of which you speak have any other way to survive but by selling their bodies. You know as well as I that our era is not a gentle one, and these women don't have much to look forward to. Some grace, if you would. Do not refuse them your compassion.
Do not say another word, my dear Watson. We shall leave immediately for Whitechapel.
To the scene of the crime?
No, I think it would be better to arrive there a bit later once night has fallen. At the moment, the spot will be overrun by police officers and spectators. It would be impossible to investigate properly.
Then where are we going, Holmes?
The best thing to do would be to head to the police station and attempt to get a copy of the preliminary reports.
But the article in the Star seemed quite complete to me.
You must know, Watson, that journalists often draw conclusions from the facts without a proper understanding of how to do this delicate task. We must obtain the reports from the inspector in charge, as well as those from the coroner.
Very well, Holmes, but all the same.
It seems to me that I have a map of London somewhere, Watson. Can you find it and locate Whitechapel while I get ready?
You are too kind, Holmes. Searching through your mess?
I am lucky to be doing that. Here we are, and this is the article in question in the Star. London, Saturday, 1st September, 1888. Special edition, The Whitechapel Horror, the third crime of a man who must be a maniac. And lured woman lured to Bay Streets to be butchered. The latest victim identified. Opening of the inquest. Great local excitement. The victim of the latest Whitechapel horror, the woman who was found yesterday morning in Bucks Row completely disemboweled and with her head nearly gashed from her body, was for a time completely unknown. As the news of the murder spread, however, first one woman, then another came forward to view the body, and at length it was found that the woman answering the description of the murdered woman was lodged in a common lodging house, 18 Thrall Street, Spitalfields. Women from the place were fetched and identified the deceased as Polly, who had shared a room with 3 other women in the place on the usual terms of such houses, nightly payments of 4d. 4d being pennies. For those of you not familiar with old English monies. 4d each. Each woman having a separate bed. It was gathered that the deceased had led the life of an unfortunate while lodging in the house, which was only for about 3 weeks past. Nothing more was known of her by them, but that when she presented herself for lodging on Thursday night, she was turned away by the deputy because she had not the money. She was then the worse for drink, but not drunk, and turned away laughing, saying, "I'll soon get my DOS money. See? What a jolly bonnet I've got now." She was wearing a bonnet which which she had not been seen with before, and left the lodging house. A woman of the neighbourhood saw her later. She told the police. Even as late as 2:30 on Friday morning in Whitechapel Road. Opposite the church and at the corner of Osborne Street, and at 4:45 she was found within 500 yards of the spot, murdered. The people of the lodging house knew her as Polly, but at about 7:30 last evening, a woman named Mary Ann Monk, at present an inmate of Lambeth Workhouse, was taken to the mortuary and identified the body as that of Mary Ann Nichols, also called Polly Nichols. She knew her, she said, as they were inmates of the Lambeth Workhouse together in April and May last, the deceased having been passed there from another workhouse. On 12th May, according to Monk, Nichols left the workhouse to take a situation as a servant at Ingleside, Wandsworth Common. It afterwards became known that Nichols betrayed her trust as a domestic servant by stealing £3 from her employer and absconding. £3, that's a small fortune. From that time, she had been wandering about. Monk met her, she said, about 6 weeks ago, when herself out of the workhouse and drank with her. She was sure the deceased was Polly Nichols, and having twice viewed the features as the body lay in the shell, maintained her opinion. There is a terribly significant similarity between this ghastly crime and 2 mysterious murders of women which have occurred in the same district within the last 3 months. In each case, the victim has been a woman of abandoned character. Each crime has been committed in the dark hours of the morning, and more important still, as pointing to one man. Like the man, a maniac, being the culprit, each murder has been accompanied by hideous mutilation. Sorry. He did not mutate them. He didn't cover them in ooze and turn them into turtles. No, he mutilated them. In the second case, that of the woman Martha Turner, it will be remembered that no fewer than 30 stabs were inflicted. The scene of this murder was George Yard, a place appropriately known locally as the Slaughterhouse. As in both other cases, there was in this not the slightest clue to the murderer. No one was known to have any motive for causing the woman's death. She was parted from her husband and had lived with a man named Turner, but the searching coroner's inquiry revealed nothing connecting either to the crime. It was fancied that some of her many wounds had been caused by a bayonet. She was said to have been seen with a soldier shortly before her death. Some soldiers were paraded at the Tower, and one was said to have been identified by a policeman as having been waiting around George Yard just around the time of the murder. But nothing came of it. The first murder, which, strangely enough, did not rouse much interest, was committed in Osborne Street. The woman in that case was alive when discovered, but unconscious, and she died in the hospital without recovering her senses. Consequently, she was unable to whisper a word to put the police on the track of her fiendish assailant, and her murder has remained a mystery. All 3 crimes have been committed within a very small radius. Each of the ill-lighted thoroughfares to which the women were decoyed to be foully butchered are off-turnings from Whitechapel Road, and all are within half a mile. The fact that these 3 tragedies have been committed within such a limited area, and are so strangely alike in their details, is forcing on all minds the conviction that they are the work of some cool, cunning man with a mania for murder. There was no new light thrown on the case this morning. At 9 o'clock, the body of the deceased was removed from the mortuary to an impoverished operating room on the premises, and Dr. Ralph Llewellyn made a postmortem examination. The object of the examination was to determine, if possible, the order in which the various cuts were made. It is evident from the cuts in the throat that the head was being bent back by the murderer before the knife was used. Whether the other mutilations took place before or after death remains to be settled. as also the position in which the woman lay when the deed was done. There are several questions of this kind, which may throw light on the case. Notably, the small quantity of blood at the place where she was found, and the fact that there must have been much of it somewhere else. At present, clues to the murder are entirely lacking, and the location of the place where the deed was done was the first point necessary to establish. Yes, I wonder how much of it was indeed. I myself wonder that, how much was, is this a accurate reproduction of a newspaper at the time? Or is it just, hey, we make up stuff for the purposes of our game? I don't know. That's all the documents we have. Now we can see all the things. Oh look, the vanity of existence we could learn about. What items have we got? Nothing in here, but look, there's blood all around it, and a knife. And a burning candle over in this corner. I don't think the river used a burning candle, but hey. No notes. The notes don't contain any new items. They're only meant to expand upon the facts already stated. Alright. And we don't have a map yet. So let us resume. You control Dr. Watson. Remove the game, left click on the destination you want to reach. Double click will make him run. Good. In this game you can change your playing perspective at will. Press the R key or the middle mouse button to switch. There we are, now we're first person. You can use the WASD keys. Or keep the left mouse button pressed to move your character in 3D mode. Pressing caps lock or left shift will make your character run. Press R to go back to third person. Remember, you can change at any time in the game. There we are. Press space for a dynamic help and see all accessible items from your current position. Use this button from both perspective modes. Ah, look at that, all of those. Now time to start the game. Find the map on the table and click to take it into your inventory. Yes, that would make sense. I mean, why would you bother to make up your own stuff? Employ somebody to make it all up when you could just use real text, and it gives an air of added authenticity. Well, let us do this. I know this is meant to be point and click, but honestly, I don't know how. Oh look, VR.
The Queen's initials done in bullet holes. Good old Holmes.
Good old Holmes? No. Horrible, horrible thing that's happened.
Holmes's experiment table.
Oh, Adventure of the Dancing Men.
The Adventure of the Dancing Men. I remember it well.
As do I, Watson. As do I. You just rotate on the spot. That is how normal people walk. Anything around here? Oh. What is that? Is that the map?
A map of London, at last. Let's see. The district of Whitechapel.
Alright, well, no thank you. Let us see what else we can look at. What is on the table, for instance?
Well, well. Holmes has received some French champagne. With a card. A gift from a young admirer. Signed, Raoul d'Andrecy. Who on earth could that be?
I think... I'm not certain. I think that is a reference to the previous game. Where you're up against Lupin.
This is the coal bucket in which Holmes keeps his cigars. What a funny idea.
I mean, I might take out a scoop of them and put them in the fire by mistake, but okay.
This is how Holmes stores his post.
On the spike.
Thank goodness his clients don't see this.
That indeed is authentic to the Holmes canon.
Colonel Gordon, during the last adventure of the resident patient.
Is that the photo you have up there, is it? Because I'm not sure why else.
Holmes uses this old Persian slipper to hold his pipe tobacco.
Yep, indeed he does.
Switzerland, a charming country. Perhaps Holmes and I shall investigate one day.
This is indeed where Pete has his desk.
Treaty on Cornish, the Celtic dialect of Cornwall. And here, medieval pottery. How can Holmes possibly read such things?
With his eyes, because they are books. And he absorbs the information into his brain. I mean, Switzerland
Holmes'
is...
violin. He doesn't play nearly enough, if you ask me.
No, I didn't ask you, because usually you would say he plays far too much. Because you dislike his playing.
Have you found the map of London, Watson? Come, my friend, it can't be too far. Be sure to locate the police station in Whitechapel we must get to.
Understood, Holmes.
Ah, that's your room, is it? Okay, well then let's go into my room and see what exciting thing... Oh, look up there, that's got to be...
This is the harpoon that
yeah.
pierced the sailor Peter the Black. Bizarre little relic.
Oh, my goodness, what is the name of that adventure? I know how it concludes, and I remember the bits, the broad strokes within it, but I cannot remember the name of the adventure. Oh well. Is there nothing you want to comment on in your own room there, Watson? No? Alright then. No memories for you from your own life. There we are, and look, let us go to the Whitechapel. Oh look, there's a picture of the Ripper up there. Oh. And this is the whole of Whitechapel that we get to look at.
I
Police
found the
station.
map, Holmes, and I was able to locate the Whitechapel police station.
Congratulations, Watson. Come, the game is
Good,
afoot.
I'm glad
You can
that
read
did
the
not
articles to
escape
me on the
your
way.
powers of observation, Watson.
We have arrived, Watson, in Whitechapel.
Not very bright, and what cold! Brr, a typical London morning.
Come, Watson, let's find this police station.
I played this game before 9 odd years ago, so do not expect me to remember any of the puzzles or stuff that is going on with it. Oh,
Then quickly, let's get to the police station.
where could it be though? Where could the police station be? Perhaps it's in this direction. No?
Commercial Street.
Ah, well, at least you're telling us the places. Oh, okay. I mean, I didn't click like that, but okay. Now to the police station. Simply to continually smash my body against the person who is in my way until I
Well, this station isn't very
move
well kept,
gently
I
to the
say.
side of them.
It's a local outpost,
As is
Watson.
everybody's
The daily
human
tasks
walk.
that confront these constables are not the easiest, and they are poorly paid.
Are you suggesting bribing them?
This police station is like a laundry. What a scandal.
It's not a scandal. What makes you think it's a scandal? Oh, who have we
Look, a
got?
suspect description. Michael Ostrog, wanted for questioning. Dangerous.
Oh, look, parcels.
These archives are impressive. I bet they have been
Oh.
carefully conserved, classified and indexed in order to follow the evolution of criminality in this area with extreme precision. Wouldn't you say, Holmes?
No.
Given their condition, more likely for lighting the furnace, Watson.
Indeed. Oh, look, shoes. Okay, person. What do you want to say to me in your
Gentlemen,
gruff
welcome.
English accent?
Hello, I would like to speak with the Chief Inspector, if you please.
Constable Humphreys here. I am the only one in at the moment. What do you want with the chief?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I am...
Sherlock Holmes!
The detective that I read about in the papers? Well, that's a treat, that is. You come about the Buck Road case, have you? Indeed.
Not at all. We were just passing by chance. You say that there was a crime recently.
You don't know? You must be the only folk in London
We just
who haven't
dropped into
heard.
police
It won't be
stations on
long
the off
until you find
chance.
the culprit,
Crappy,
no doubt.
run-down ones.
Nothing is less certain. Suspects, 0. Clues, 0. It's not good for us, especially not in this district.
Ah. Well then, I guess we will ask you about the reports then.
Listen, this isn't what I came here for, but if I can be of service, in a confidential capacity of course, if you can entrust me with a copy of the preliminary reports, I could study them and return later with my conclusions.
It's just that these are official documents. I can't take a decision like that without the inspectors. The sooner we know the facts in the file, the sooner we can be of help, my friend. So, if you are Sherlock Holmes, you can find anything, isn't that true? With your magnifying glass, footprints.
My performance is often embellished by my biographer.
Ah, good. Good. I will give you the reports, but could you do me a small favour first? During my rounds, I dropped a leather folder containing some papers. Nothing of importance, but it's a big mistake. I would go looking for it myself, but I am stuck here on duty. I must have lost it near the seedy boarding house not far from here. Left when you leave the courtyard and left again in the lane. Perhaps you could go, ask around.
Goodbye.
We shall see what we can do.
And now we get to the important part of
Are we
solving
going
the
to go
Ripper
look for these
case.
documents?
Doing errands
Why
for
not?
everybody
It will give
else
us
to
an
get the
occasion to take a
information.
tour of the district, Watson.
Oh, look. No, I'm not sure what... Oh, that is dialogues. Right, that is what that indicates. Okay, no, not that way. Out of the yard. And then we need to take a left. So... this way? I'm just trying to work out which... I mean... yeah. Okay, and then another left. So that one, down there. Is there anything to see? Oh, look. There are things to be looked
Commercial Street.
at. Oh.
Commercial Street.
Alright, well then, guess we're going down Commercial Street. If you had told me it was in Commercial Street, well then, I would have known, wouldn't I? Hey there, you two people. Police officer, sir. Oh, there's somebody sweeping. Can I talk to you? Yes, I can. Have you seen a folder of leather papers?
Excuse me, my good man.
Out of the way, I don't like the look of you.
Oh, what a great accent. Now to simply rub my body into yours
Can you
all the
give me
way
some
over here,
information?
so
If
that
it's
I
the
get the
violent
necessary
complaint, you should go to the
static
station.
charge to talk to this policeman. Alright, well, let's go to this yard and see if there's somebody to talk to. Hello there, my good fellow.
Good day, sir. You wouldn't happen to have seen a leather folder on the ground around here, would you?
Good day, gentlemen. Finley, caretaker of this building. Here to serve. And yes, less than an hour ago. But some of the local urchins picked it up and God only knows where it might be now.
That's unfortunate. This police bag contained documents that the local police will miss.
Your
Police.
inspectors?
Not at all. I am
Police.
Dr. Watson, and this is Sherlock Holmes, the detective.
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock
detective.
Holmes.
You must be here about last night's murder. Have you discovered the identity of the poor woman?
Indeed, I'd only to read the papers.
Mine is dated from this morning, and it does not say who it is.
Oh. Well, let me discuss it with you, random person on the street. I guess Finley, as we know your name.
I'm not really engaged in this case, but if I can help the police, I will do so willingly.
Oh, to be sure. I've been told that Inspector Aberline is in charge. A very capable
Indeed,
man.
that is the right name. Well, we've talked about the police case. Tell me about the leather
So,
folder.
according to you, I have no chance of finding this folder then.
Indeed. But I, on the other hand, should be able to find it. Do me a favour, in exchange. A vagrant comes almost every night to sleep in one of the nooks not far from my windows. He coughs, howls, sometimes even sings.
Sounds like
He's
you have
quite
entertainment
hefty
then,
and
don't
I
you?
don't dare approach him. I've lost 3 tenants because of him.
Oh.
If it's you who speaks to the police, they will take this matter more seriously. Tell them about the captain. They'll know who you're talking about. In the meantime, I'll find your police bag.
Alright, sounds like Oh. East London Advertiser. Another Whitechapel mystery. Horrible murder. In Bucks Row, Whitechapel. Scarcely has the horror and sensation caused by the discovery of the murdered woman in Whitechapel some short time ago had time to abate, when another discovery is made, which, for the brutality exercised on the victim, is even more shocking and will no doubt create as great a sensation in the vicinity of its predecessor. The affair, up to the present, is enveloped in a complete mystery, and the police have as yet no evidence to trace the perpetrators of the horrible deed. Facts are that Constable John Neal was walking down Bucks Road, Thomas Street, Whitechapel, about 4:45 on Friday morning, when he discovered a woman between 35 and 40 years of age lying at the side of the street with her throat cut right open from ear to ear. The instrument with which the deed was done traversing the throat from left to right. The wound was about 2 inches wide and blood was flowing profusely. She was discovered to be lying in a pool of blood. She was immediately conveyed to the Whitechapel mortuary, where it was found that beside the wound in the throat, the lower part of the abdomen was completely ripped open, with the bowels protruding. The wound extends nearly to her breast, and must have been effected with a large knife. As the corpse lay in the mortuary, it presents a ghastly sight. The victim seems to be between 35 and 40 years of age and measures 5 foot 2 inches in height. The hands are bruised and bear evidence of having engaged in a severe struggle. There is the impression of a ring having been worn on one of the deceased's fingers, but there is nothing to show that it had been wrenched from her in a struggle. Some of the front teeth have also been knocked out, and the face is bruised on both cheek and very much discoloured. The deceased wore a rough brown ulster with large buttons in front. The clothes are torn and cut up in several places, bearing evidence of the ferocity with which the murder was committed. The only way by which the police can prosecute an inquiry at present is by finding someone who can identify the deceased, and then, if possible, trace those in whose company she was last seen. In Bucks Row, naturally, the greatest excitement prevails, and several persons in the neighbourhood state that an affray occurred shortly after midnight, but no screams were heard, nor anything beyond what might have been considered evidence of an ordinary brawl. In any case, the police, unfortunately, will have great difficulty in bringing to justice the murderer or murderers. Great fire at London warehouse. A fire broke out shortly before 9 o'clock on Thursday night in one of the huge warehouses of the London warehouses. One of the huge warehouses of the London warehouses. Wow. Okay. Great writing there. And great reading by me, anyway. Great fire at the London docks. Almost. Also, Doctor Who was involved. Don't you know that? The warehouses were closed as usual at 4 in the afternoon, and there are few persons except the night policeman and firemen left on the premises. At about 8:30, a smell of fire was noticed, and shortly afterwards there was an immense burst of flame from the top of one of the vast buildings right in the centre of the warehouses. The volume of the fire was terrific, but at 9 o'clock the authorities of the fire brigade had heard nothing of the occurrence. Shortly afterwards, an alarm was given at the Whitechapel station, and the officials of the brigade instantly ordered every steamer to proceed to the scene. and the circulation of the news amongst the other stations caused steamers to be sent from every district in London. On arrival of the engines, it was found that the fire of enormous strength was raging on the upper floors of a great building about 150 yards long and half as broad. The flames could not have broken out in a more dangerous part of the warehouse than the site of this fire, the South Quay warehouses. They were crammed with colonial produce in the upper floors, and brandy and gin in the lower floors. I wonder what colonial produce is meant to be a euphemism for. I guess tobacco? Anyway, through the great iron-barred windows the fire could be seen raging like a furnace, and the enormous tongues of bluish and yellowish flames, which constantly burst up with great roars, pointed to the fact that spirits were aiding the progress of the flames. The scene at 10:30 was an imposing one. In the enormous warehouses, crammed with goods of incalculable value, with vast buildings on every side, and with great vessels in the wet firehouse, firemen, policemen, and dock officers were either watching or aiding in endeavouring to extinguish the fire, while an enormous crowd gathered around the great gates and gazed at the progress of the fire from a distance. There were 2 fires that night in the London docks. The dock fires are mentioned at both Nichols and Chapman's inquest, one part of John Pfizer's alibi. Here's why the likes of Pfizer and Alan Holland found these fires such a spectacle. Yeah, well.
Let's go to the police station.
Alright, let's walk back to the police station where we have just come from. Oh, hello. Do you have something to say?
Pardon me, but can you give me some information?
If you're looking for a princess lover, you found her.
No. I am not looking for a princess lover. Hello. Hello, young boy.
No time to talk, Governor. I've turned my keep.
Only the finest quality of voiceovers for us here at this game. Right, not run over here. There we go. Not long before we have to meet Long Liz Stride, the next victim.
So, gentlemen, have you found my police bag?
No, we need to know about Karen.
Not quite yet. Do you know a vagrant who goes by the name of the Captain?
Captain? Yes, an old sailor, strong as a Turk and tattooed from head to toe. The drink has turned him into a derelict.
He appears to be causing some problems for the caretaker of the building at the end of the street.
What do you want us to do? Every night, stairwells, halls and porches become public dormitories, and people don't only come to sleep. I believe this man has a niece who puts him up sometimes. Her lodgings are in Commercial Street, right after the alley with the boarding house. You won't forget my folder, will you?
So, back to the place we've just come from.
Do you believe this woman will agree to have her uncle stay with her?
No idea. Oh well, let's go see her just the same.
Indeed. Onwards, ever onwards. Backwards and forwards between the places. Come, Sherlock, let us run for the good of our health. Also, to make sure our lights stay charged. Now, just beyond the thing of Commercial Road, where oh, hello, drunk person with a bottle. No? Am I in the wrong place? Well, if I am in the wrong place, which I appear to be, then I will just have to go back. No, don't want to talk to Watson. Hello. When you say just beyond it, you don't mean in here, do you? Like at one of the things at the top. No? half bricked in doorways. Oh, hello. No? No. Well, you gave me directions, so of course I'm immediately lost. Are you Commercial Street as well?
Commercial Street.
Alright, well then let's try that one. Oh.
There. This
Aha.
is where the niece of the captain must live.
When you say this, do you mean up there? Alright, okay. What are you
Commercial
going to say?
Street.
Yep, it's all Commercial Street. All the way down. Excuse me, I do say to you,
Good
person up
Would you
there.
happen to be the niece of the man known as the captain?
Oh, yes, that would be me. What has he done this time? He isn't... Oh my god, I'm on my way.
No, he hasn't. Tell me about your uncle.
Miss, we have come to ask if you could have your uncle come live with you. He sleeps under the windows of
No,
a boarding house.
of course I
Causes
can't.
the caretaker no
If
end
I
of
had
problems.
I know.
Would have done it before.
I've lodged him for a while, and he was the same here. My landlord made me kick him out. I'm ashamed, you know. I never should have, given the state of his health. He coughs day and night.
Ah. Take care of your uncle. Take care of your uncle. Take care of your uncle.
There might be a way to
Depending
calm
on how
his
you phrase
cough.
that, that's
I am
great.
a doctor. I could examine him.
He went to see a doctor at the clinic, but the medicine costs too much. I can hardly pay my rent.
We will see to it. Where might your uncle be found?
I don't know. He must be in the vicinity, but I don't know exactly where.
Alright. Goodbye
You
then.
will find him.
Good.
Holmes, this is serious.
Bye.
Find an alcoholic in Whitechapel? A needle in a haystack would be easier.
Come, dear doctor, let's trust to our lucky star. Moreover, we also have our informers, remember?
Are you referring to those brats
The
to whom
Baker
you are
Street
always giving
irregulars.
charity?
Exactly, my secret police. Some of them must surely roam in this area. It suffices to find them.
Well, how convenient that the camera is zooming in on one of them in some description now. Right, you there, who is disguised as a horse. Can you... No? No? But you're disguised as a horse. It's an excellent disguise. I want to employ you. No, you're not. I just now need to find that corner that was there. Oh, there's a hand. I can go over there, but that's not what I'm looking for.
I
Oh,
have no reason to go that way.
indeed. Oh, well, you're a drunk, and I am looking for a drunk, so let's go and talk to the you and see if you are the captain to begin with. If not, we'll just walk back out and come back the other way. No, you're not heavily tattooed.
Excuse me, my good man.
What? I know you.
No.
Come, my lord. A little coin. Oi!
I am not my lord. Sounds like a reused line from... Look, oh, we can see it say Commercial Street. Yes, Sherlock. I'm glad you have said Commercial Street again, or I would have forgotten where I was. Oh, that was you trying to catch up with... Alright, you have defeated me. You were just standing... I went entirely the wrong way and somehow I did not see you. Alright, hey there, Wiggins, or whatever your name is. Oh, look, we can hear him say Batty Street. Yeah, wow. There. Had to go into first person mode
Hello,
to
young
look
man.
and see.
How are you?
I recognise him. It's the lad who sells newspapers, who is always calling outside our windows at Baker Street early in the morning.
Hello, Mr. Holmes. It's a treat to see you again.
Ow,
What can I do?
Well, we need to find the captain, or possibly, you know, The leather folder that other urchins of your type would have taken and thrown away.
Would you happen to know an old sailor who goes by the name of the Captain? A poor man who hits the bottle a bit hard.
Of course, Mr. Helms. He's there at the end of the street. Round to the left he is. But be careful. He can be a tough customer, that one.
Very good, my young man. The doctor will give you a little something. Watson?
Huh? I say, Holmes?
Here you
Is he
are.
always such a skinflint with you, Mr. Helms? Well, thanks to you, Mr. Helms. Anytime you need me.
Love how those subtitles match up exactly with what is being said. Anyway, so he's over here, is he? So the doctor is going to give you a little something. Injects person with morphine. You don't look like it. You down here?
I can hear someone coughing more than is natural, Holmes.
Good.
Yes, Watson. The poor man cannot be too far away.
Oh, you look vaguely captain-shaped.
If, in order to listen to us, this man imposes as condition that we find his pet cockroach, there will be another murder in Whitechapel today, Watson. Yours.
Ah,
Why? Why would you kill Watson? What? You horrible, horrible man, Holmes.
he is in a critical state, Holmes. He has barely a month left.
Is there a way, dear doctor, to ensure that this last month passes in silence?
Really, Holmes, sometimes you... Oh, really? I will make note of some medicine to get immediately that will relieve his pain.
Very well. I will locate an apothecary or a clinic.
Alright. Oh, map. Aha, clinic. We have found Lucy's lodgings, a dead end, a boarding house, and a police station. So we're currently in a dead end and we need to get all the way to the clinic. I suppose you can click to fast travel there. You can! Wow, cool.
This building is a clinic.
Indeed, that is why we are here. Into the door. The hand-shaped door that was there. Oh, hello, Doctor. There's nobody in any of your beds. Oh, why is that? I would have expected some people to be in your bed. You know. Hello, I want to talk to you, Doc.
Good day, sir. Dr. Gibbons. You aren't from around these parts.
Could be
Indeed,
a dispensary
doctor.
with
It
the
is
word
for someone from
dispensary
your
written
neighbourhood
above
that
it.
I'm here, though. His doctor asked that I acquire some medicine on his behalf. I have the note here.
Dr. Watson? Not from round here neither. This medication is quite dear. Certain documents are necessary to obtain them for free.
I do not have these certain documents, but I might have the odd penny in my pocket.
I don't have it. You'll have to accept my spare change. Will
No,
it be
I
enough?
won't.
Enough to relieve your patient for a month. Would you like me to make this prescription available after that time?
According to Dr. Watson, that won't be necessary.
The possibility of a recovery?
A definitive one,
All his
yes.
patients are...
There, sir.
Thank
Maybe.
you.
Where has everybody gone? You're asking the same question that I am. Has everybody gone up or down?
It's rather quiet here.
An unusual chain of events. The majority of the people hereabouts went out last night to see the great fire at the warehouse. The patients that I was minding and my staff were no exception. The former were dramatically healed, and the latter ended up sick. And with the murder last night, most of the people who weren't working wandered over to the scene of the crime. Their little aches and pains will wait until tonight or tomorrow.
A squalid murder, it would seem.
Just like what this area has become.
Alright. Goodbye,
My thanks,
doctory
Doctor.
person.
Not at all.
I don't know your name, Doctor. Not that I expect that every person we talk to in an adventure game has a name. Oh, didn't necessarily need to go outside. Could have just fast travelled. To the dead end!
Find
Yeah.
the medicine, Holmes. We must make haste.
I have found the medicine. Can I... nope. There you go.
Here is the medication, Watson. Is our man movable?
He should be able to stand in a few minutes and will no longer be suffering from his cough before long.
Consider
Hey
the
there.
affair resolved. Accompany him to his niece's while I return to the boarding house, and then join me at the police station. Let's return to the boarding house.
We have dealt with... Oh, yeah, let's fast travel to the boarding house. What? Ah, dear Watson.
I have good news for you,
Yes,
Mr.
Watson
Finley.
is dear.
We have sent the
I get
captain
what
to
that
stay with
reference
a
is
relative, and he shouldn't bother you for a while.
I also have some good news. I have your police bag.
Thank you. I bid you good day.
I think
Oh,
it was a folder.
nothing. Tell me, one of my wife's friends lost...
Another
Good
day.
day.
Finley, another day.
I have no
Let's go
more
to the
time
police
for that.
station.
Alright, well, let's have a look at this bag. Oh, no. Can't interact with objects in that manner. Well, we'll just have to... Oh, I don't even have to do this. Never mind, I'm doing it now. Maybe I'll bump into Watson along the way. Oh, let's talk to a random person.
Either way, what difference does it make?
Hey, you remember me? You owe me 2 shillings on the jiffy.
No, I don't. And either way, what difference does it make? For some reason. It's like they just went, hey, let's make each bit of a conversation a different person to interact with. Ugh, I don't want to stand there. I'll stand over here and talk to you, thanks. No!
So, what
Alright.
news do you have, Mr. Holmes?
Oh. Yes. Alright. Now that I have the bag in my
I'm sure it's
hand,
the
I can
police
show you.
bag that you lost.
Yes, but someone attempted to force it open. They didn't succeed, but now the lock is stuck. Perhaps you could...
Let's see.
I will break out my knives and then... Alright, there it is. And just tear it open. Alright, okay. So, reset, close. Am I trying to get the numbers 1, 2, 3? It would be nice if told me something. I assume I'm trying to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that.
All done.
There we go.
A
See?
big thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Think nothing of it, my friend.
Alright, now tell me about these reports. Or show me them, or give them to me.
So, the reports.
Why don't you wait till the inspectors get back? You would certainly learn more.
If I wanted to meet the inspectors, I would have done so. So, give me the preliminary reports, and above all, do not mention my visit to anyone. Is that clear?
Sure, if that's what you want. Here are the reports.
Thank you.
Death of Polly Nichols, 31st August, 1888. Autopsy report by Dr. Henry Llewellyn, surgeon. Her throat has been cut from left to right, 2 distinct cuts being on the left side, the windpipe, gullet, and spinal cord being cut through. Bruise apparently of a thumb being on the right lower jaw. Also one on the left cheek. Just trying to visualize it with my hands out. The abdomen has been cut open from the center of the bottom of the ribs, along right side. Alright. Under the pelvis to the left of the stomach. There the wound was jagged. The omentum, or coating of the stomach, was also cut in several places, and 2 small stabs on private parts, apparently done by a strong-bladed knife. Supposedly to have been done by some left-handed person, death being almost instantaneous. Well, this is the most clear a doctor's note has ever been for me. Thank you. Oh,
Have you obtained the preliminary reports?
Yes, we'll
Were you
read them on the go.
talking to that
Let's to
woman?
the scene of the crime at Bucks Row.
Oh my
Watson.
god. These people, with their bodies. Ma'am, I need to talk to you. Something was very wrong with your torso. It disappeared for a moment.
Pardon me, but can you give me some information?
Oh, it's so cold. Come, let's warm up.
Ah, that is not the information I required. Alright, I assume Bucksrow is in this direction. I could transport to the clinic. And then to the scene of Polly Nichols' murder. Yeah, alright, let's just go straight there. Alright. Wait a second, yes.
Bucks Row.
And?
Bucks Row.
Ah, Bucksrow, you say. Follow me, Watson.
But
Here
what
we
are all
are.
these people doing here, Holmes?
Apparently they came to see the scene of the crime.
What about us? Aren't we going to see it?
We will return this evening, Watson. The circumstances shall be ideal for carrying out our little experiments.
What experiments?
Well, Watson, we are at the scene of the Polly Nichols murder. Imagine the victim lying at the spot where she was found and try to discern all of the clues we can. Watson, you are a writer. I am therefore entrusting you with our deduction board. It will help us to establish certain facts.
Understood, Holmes.
Alright, well, let's have a look at this. Okay, we got
No
papers.
marks on the ground.
Okay, there are no footsteps on the ground. Thank you. 2 of 2. 1 of 2. Inventory, help. No, okay, let's
The
close that.
ground is muddy.
Alright. What about this?
Let's look at this poor woman more closely.
Alright. I didn't know police sketch artists did that in the middle of the street. Alright, so we've got a cut on the throat. You're not going to tell me that? Do I have to pick up? Alright, yeah,
The
cut on the
throat was
throat.
slit from left to right. There are 2 incisions.
Indeed. There's a bruise
There's
on
a
her
bruise
face.
on the left cheek.
I'm not going to comment on the particular hemorrhaging.
There is a bruise at the level of the right maxilla.
I mean, you are just gaining all of the clues that you had in the
A
report.
small pool of blood, 6 inches in diameter.
Alright, if you say so. Close. Can we look at this
The
bit?
body was lying on its back, legs straight and slightly apart. The skirt had been lifted up to the middle of the body. The left hand was touching the barn door. The body was still warm. Let's reread the preliminary report for the details on the wounds inflicted upon this poor woman.
Oh, let's not. Let's look at
There
this.
is a black bonnet near the left hand.
Yeah, that was interesting. Nothing on her hands. Is there
Let's
still
look
more
at this
over
poor
there?
woman more closely.
No, you don't want to comment about the fact their clothes have been torn. Alright.
The tongue is swollen.
Okay. Is that everything? Yeah. Ah, and the door.
No signs
Alright.
of blood.
Oh,
Bucks Row.
there we go. Alright, and now let's reread the report for some reason. Documents. Preliminary death, blah 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 blah. Okay, we've read all of that. Thank you very much. What's that? A light?
There is only one street light lit on the street,
yes.
Watson, and this spot is particularly poorly lit.
I couldn't tell it was poorly lit because I could see everything in great detail. Can we go over here? Oh. Let's talk to these people. I'm sure they
This
won't.
spot is deserted, Holmes. The prostitutes only come here to exercise.
Well, Watson, we have found all of the possible clues, I think. We will now attempt to recreate the scene of the murder. Come closer, Watson. I have to make you up.
You
are
shall
joking,
be the
Holmes.
death.
I feel ridiculous, Holmes.
It can be a new fashion statement.
Now, Watson, come and stand here in front of me. You shall play the role of the poor woman and I shall play that of the murderer. Let's try to reconstruct the facts to ensure the final result corresponds indisputably to the way that Polly Nichols was killed.
Alright, okay. So, stand up. Bare hands or a knife? Left hand, right hand. Left hand, knife. Oh, okay, so that just switches between the two. No.
No, had the victim had her throat slit while standing, there would naturally be blood on the walls.
Ah, well, okay. So, alright, so definitely happened down on the ground.
The murderer had enough room to inflict the wounds to the neck, and these wounds suggest the left hand was used.
Right, am I not... Do I not have the left hand? That's the left hand, right?
No, I don't think that things went like that. The murderer didn't attempt to stab his victim in the stomach.
No. So, what? What did I miss there? Exposition. Oh, I think he was on top
The
like that.
murderer had enough room to inflict the wounds to the neck, and these wounds suggest the left hand was used.
Are you telling me I've got the hand the wrong
I
way
hope
around?
that, as with the real murder, nobody had to witness all of that, Watson. If the murderer used his right hand astride his victim, there wasn't much room.
Oh, are you telling me the positioning is wrong? Like that, maybe?
If the killer positioned himself to the side of the victim to slit her throat, regardless of which hand he used, he would have risked seeing the blood flow uncontrollably towards him.
Okay, so not that. So this way round?
This
That doesn't make
position
any
is
sense.
unlikely.
Yeah. So, what are you telling me I have wrong, game? Perhaps barehanded? That doesn't
Sorry,
work.
Watson. No, the victim wasn't already lying down on the ground before dying.
Oh. So...
This position is unlikely. No, there is no reason the murderer would be positioned like this. The grip would be awkward.
So...
This position isn't very comfortable either. This position isn't very...
Alright, so...
Yes, it's quite possible the events occurred like this.
Oh, okay, so we had to work it out from... Alright, okay.
My dear Watson, now that we have found all of our clues, nothing remains
All
but
right.
to subject them to our most likely hypotheses in order to deduce the facts.
The facts. Alright, okay. There are no footsteps on the ground. The tongue is bloated. And... Alright, the murderer must have been sitting on the victim. The murderer was standing in front of the victim's strangler. Or is that the other way around? No, I'm just putting these in places, am I? Oh. So I'm just generally... Alright, okay. The corpse was still warm. There were no footsteps on the ground. The murderer cut open Polly Nichols' throat. So... There were no footsteps on the ground, so... I mean, the victim wasn't dragged. There were no... But, I mean, it could also be the victim was dumped. So we're gonna... But no, there was blood at the scene. I don't know. Alright, the tongue was bloated, which means she was strangled. The throat was slit from left to right. The victim had a bruise on her right jawbone, so the bruises were caused by hard pressure with fingers. Which means the murderer was standing in front of the victim to strangle her, and the bruise was caused with that hard pressure by the fingers. The killer's right hand was used. No? Killer's left hand? Right hand, must be. Killer strangled the victim with his right hand, while slashing with his left. Right? So they're left-handed. No? That says red. No? The killer had two knives. No, of course they didn't have two knives. I think they're left-handed, but they strangled with the right hand. As a strong man. But that doesn't add up. The murder took place on the premises. Alright, but I'm missing something here. The bruise was caused by hard pressure with the fingers. Or was... because it wasn't... Okay, gag the victim by gripping tightly then. And it was the right hand. The killer strangled with his right hand. Right? I need to see Polly Nichols again, please. Oh, there's another one. Alright. Can I see Polly Nichols? No. Alright, well let's just put these out there. I mean, I don't understand why I am moving them from place to place, given they are colour-coded already. So a black bonnet near the left hand, in a poorly lit suit. The prostitutes only go down here, so Nichols was... Victim was holding the bonnet in her hand at the time of her murder. Probably. I mean, I can't deduce that. I mean, it wasn't already on the ground. The victim wasn't cold. The victim was asking if the victim wasn't afraid. The victim collected the bonnet from the ground. I think the victim was afraid. Nichols wasn't cornish. She didn't have a bonnet. And the bonnet in her hand was ready to exercise. Yes. I have the right hand doing two different things, do I? Okay, groovy, thank you. Right, no traces of blood on the walls. The victim had her throat slit. So... the victim didn't have her throat slit while standing. That makes the most sense, right? Borne to the ground, then slit. There was a little pool of blood, but not much, so the blood did not flow in strong spurts. Aha! Alright, thank you. But here, the dirty and damp ground. He could not have had relations in the ground. The murderer threw water on the ground. There were relations on the ground. I don't think the murderer threw water on the ground, because otherwise that blood wouldn't be there. Yes? Nichols was dead before being... Nichols was dead before being stretched out and having a throat slit. That makes sense. Oh, I see. Okay. Nose gag. Right. The murderer must have been standing on the victim's knife. Must have been sitting on the victim, knife in the left or right hand. The victim has a bruise on the right jawbone, so they were grabbed with this hand that I'm holding out now that you can't see, which is my right hand. So the right hand prevented them from screaming, and strangled with the left. Is that what we're going with? That makes sense. It can be left or right-handed. No? I'm obviously missing something. Never gag the victim by gripping tightly. I mean, the bruise was caused by hard pressure of the fingers, which also indicates that it was gagged. Right? I had something else wrong, which I had right before. No. Okay, the murder of gagged the victim by gripping tightly. Problem with timing. But I don't think I can go back.
What are we doing, Holmes?
Oh, well. I have to go to the deductions board again. Right, this one is correct. This one is not correct. Right, yes, I understand that this is not a perfect system. And that there are going to be horrible problems coming in. Okay, the victim had a bruise on the right jawbone. Okay. So they were grabbed with the right hand. I mean, the murder was caused by hard pressure with the fingers, but the murderer also gagged the victim by gripping tightly, I assume. Covering the mouth. So we'll go with that. The killer's right hand prevented screaming. The killer strangled with the left hand. And I guess you're left-handed. And you're a strong person. No. Could be left or right-handed. And the big man? We don't necessarily know that, or that they're strong. Alright. Alright. Guide reading guider. Please guide me with this. As I am obviously missing something that I am just disappointed in. I mean, you're probably left-handed because throat was slit from left to right. So starting at the left, dragging it across. Set it up. So ready, and I'll tell you how many things are wrong. For what? Currently 5 things are wrong, including the 2 final deductions. Alright, how do I say... I can't say ready anywhere. I can leave. Help. Alright, you may deduce the fact based on the observations you made at the crime scene. Click on an observation on the left side of the screen and position it in one of the spaces in the center. Boxes containing arrows appear on the screen. By clicking on an arrow, 3 possible deductions will display. You must choose one. Once all the facts on the right side of the screen have a green outline, your deductions will work on the murderer and will be over. Alright. So... Oh, physically say the word ready to you. Okay. Alright. I see. So these are the 5 things down the bottom here that are wrong. Yeah. So right, they didn't do that. There was a bruise on the right jawbone. The bruise was caused by hard pressure with the fingers, but the murderer gagged the victim by gripping tightly. They both seem correct. The murderer is standing in front of the victim to strangle her. The killer's right hand prevented the victim to scream. The killer strangled the victim with the left hand. The killer could be left or right-handed. And you're a strong man. Alright, let me say ready at that point. I'll sit here and wait while you say everything's wrong. Fort wrong. Right, yeah. Aha! So, if I only change one thing at a time and then say ready... I mean, I'm not sure I know the difference between what a big man and a strong man necessarily means here. Yeah, I mean, I'm certain that... Alright, the victim has a bruise on the right jawbone. The murderer did not beat the victim. That is definitely not what happened. Thank you. Alright, because, I mean... It was caused by high pressure with the fingers. But the murderer could have gagged the victim by gripping tightly as well. Well, alright. The bruise was caused by hard pressure with the fingers. So the victim's right hand prevented the victim from screaming. Right? Because the bruise is on the jawbone. So they were grabbing... Okay, and the killer strangled the victim with his left hand. So it was the left hand that did it. Really? Alright, well, you can't have two. Strangle with the right hand. Then you're probably right-handed. There you go.
The victim was most probably dead before being laid down. Once the heart stopped, gravity drained the body slowly, not in a heavy spurt that would have stained half the street.
Yeah.
Thank you, Holmes. I understand why you told me not to change clothes. Do you realize that our behavior didn't alarm anyone?
The victim's ordeal was even more discreet. By acting in silence, we have confirmed something. The crime definitely took place here. The victim and her murderer were able to come here without making any noise, and afterwards the murder took place without the slightest cry being uttered. Come,
Thank you for the goat.
Let's go home. We have spent far too long in this sinister alley. And so, my dear Watson, the day and night which we passed in Whitechapel were enlightening, weren't they?
An adventure that I most certainly will never relate. To be in the skin of that poor woman.
Also, I won't change my
prefer
clothes.
not to speak of it further. But have we really learned anything about the murderer? Obviously a man, given the necessary strength.
We have little to go on, at least no more than the police. But in my opinion, Inspector Aberline has a trick or two up his sleeve. No, I want to talk about the facts and what we can draw from them. We know where the crime was committed and under what conditions. I would like to ask you about the possible motives for the crime. According to you, Watson, what could have pushed the murderer to act in such a way?
Frenzy, mania. Alright, okay. So we need to match up these with these, do we? Check up with them. Credible motive, even if it's a field that Sherlock Holmes doesn't know. Well, that is love. Unless it's black magic. Victim was an occasional prostitute with a family or ties. So that is probably revenge. Victim lived in misery, so that is not going to be theft.
Theft, perhaps.
I have a hard time believing that someone would attack poor Polly so fiercely just to rob her of a few coins.
Oh, the description's not assigned. The descriptions are assigned. Right. Victim suffered horrible mutilation, so that could be madness.
Homicidal insanity, Holmes.
It is indubitable that the man who did this to Polly Nichols is not of his full senses.
Oh, maybe those are the wrong way round then. Could it be a credible motive that
Black magic?
There we
I'm
go.
not terribly interested in the occult or black magic. Let's give the benefit of the doubt to this motive.
Yep. Resentment can lead to irreparable acts.
Revenge, Holmes?
Revenge could be a possible motive, but with one small reservation. We have reason to believe that the victim considered her murderer to be a typical client.
A personal drama?
Love can certainly lead to many a drama, but we have to consider the fact that the victim didn't know her attacker.
Alright. No. So, okay, so it just turns it green. Probably not revenge. Probably not love. Probably not theft. Madness is... Reset, close.
A personal drama?
Love can certainly...
Homicidal insanity, Holmes?
It is indubitable that the man who did this to Polly Nichols is not of his full senses.
I mean, I'll also put yes on black magic, even though I do not believe it. That it's not going to be... It could be
Elementary.
revenge. There you
Very
go.
well, Watson. I think that we've exhausted the topic. Take a rest.
Even
and
though
we'll
there doesn't
speak
appear to be
again
anybody
later.
who they could have revenge on. Unless it was like, oh, you took my bed.
Ah, it would seem that the investigation is advancing, Holmes. Yesterday's Star said that a suspect is in the hands of the police, a man with a rather sinister reputation.
I
Oh,
was
dun dun
about to join you in
dun.
your optimistic outlook until you informed me that the good news came from the press, Watson.
But surely they wouldn't invent the fact that the police are holding a suspect, or the acts that are attributed to him.
You will have an exact answer to these two questions in less than 50 seconds, Watson.
Pardon?
Knock, knock, knock.
Enter, Inspector.
Oh, God, blimey, Holmes, I can't
Good
solve
day.
this murder at all. Come and help me out.
Dear Watson, allow me to introduce Inspector Aberline, Inspector Dr. Watson.
Inspector?
To what do we owe the honour of your presence, Inspector?
I heard that the two of you made your way to Whitechapel a few days ago. Your arrival, you are aware, coincides with a very serious affair which our police service is going to great lengths to solve and which is creating strong tensions in the area.
Pardon me, but haven't you arrested someone? A certain Leather Apron?
Absolutely not. The man who hides behind this name is indeed being actively searched for by the force. Besides, nothing at the moment suggests that he is the Bucks Row murderer.
There, you've been enlightened, Watson. Now it is our turn to answer Inspector Aberline's questions.
I'll do my
Indeed.
best.
I will be brief and precise. Do you intend to investigate this case, or have you already started?
It is to be of service to a friend that I went to Whitechapel. We did, out of curiosity, familiarise ourselves with the preliminary reports, and we made our way to the scene of the crime. Our conclusions are slim, as are the clues. Having not been officially appointed by a client, I believe that my intervention in this business will end there.
Very well. To be frank, you take the weight off my shoulders by distancing yourself from the case. Our image isn't very good, to say nothing of what the press puts us through. Thus, if overnight they found out that you were on the case, people would turn against us.
And they would pester me, overwhelm me, and finally make me out to be responsible for the inevitable failure such a scenario entails. Neither you nor I wish for this to happen. I know that your time is precious, Inspector. I will send you a note regarding my conclusions shortly.
With pleasure.
Surely you can't be
Gentlemen?
frank.
Do you think that he will find the murderer?
The chances are slim to non-existent. It is 7 days now, short of a confession from the murderer himself.
And you will not go further?
You heard the Inspector, Watson. My presence in Whitechapel would hinder, which doesn't mean that we will drop the case.
Well, good,
How
because
is
otherwise the game would be very
The
short.
Inspector spoke of me, but not of us. It is you, Watson, who will lead the investigation tonight. It is you who will bring to the police station the little note that I will write regarding our conclusions. Despite the late hour, there is nothing to stop you from making inquiries about this famous leather apron while you are there.
No, screw you, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. You control, Dr. Watson. Leather Apron. More about his career, his latest movements in the borough. The Star, largest circulation of any evening paper in the kingdom. 1/2 penny. Sense of fear which the murder of the unfortunate woman Nichols has thrown over the neighbourhood, and especially over her companions, shows no sign of decreasing. The number of street wanderers are in nightly terror of Leather Apron. One of the reporters visited one of the single women's lodging houses last night. It is in Thrall Street, one of the darkest and most terrible looking spots in Whitechapel. The house keeps open till 1 o'clock in the morning and reopens again at 5. In the house nightly are 66 women who get their bed for 4D. The proprietor of the place, who is also owner of several other houses of a similar character in the neighbourhood, told some gruesome stories of the man who has now come to be regarded as the terror of the East End. Night after night, he said, had women come in a fainting condition after being knocked about by Leather Apron. He himself would never be out in the neighbourhood after 12 o'clock at night, except with a loaded revolver. The terror, he said, would go to a public house or coffee room and peep in through the window to see if a particular woman was there. He would then vanish, lying in wait for his victim at some convenient corner, hidden from the view of everybody. The police are making efforts to arrest him, but he constantly changes his quarters. Some of the unfortunate women state that he is now one of the low slums of the borough. One of them said he saw him crossing London Bridge as stealthily as usual, with his head bent, his skimpy coat turned up about his ears, and looking as if he were in a desperate hurry. The hunt for Leather Apron began in earnest last evening. Constables 43 and 173, J Division, into whose hand Leather Apron fell on Sunday afternoon, were detailed to accompany Detective Enright. Pause for significance of the J Division, and a search through all the quarters where the crazy Jew was likely to be. They began at 10:30 in Church Street in Shoreditch, rumour having located the suspected man there. They went through lodging houses, into pubs, down side streets, threw their bull's-eyes into every shadow, and searched the quarters thoroughly, but without result. Bull's-eyes are a type of lantern. They didn't throw literal bull's-eyes in every quarter to try and see if anybody stepped on them and went squishing noises. The hunt continued. Later, down in Brick Lane neighbourhood, Florentine Lane being Leather Apron's preferred lodging place lately. He was not found here, however, and the search, which then took the direction of the London hospital, resulted in nothing. It is the general belief that the man had left the district. The clue furnished by the woman who denounced the man on Sunday is a very unfortunate one. Her offer to prove by two women that Leather Apron was seen walking with the murdered woman in Baker's Row at 2 o'clock last Friday morning is the most direct bit of evidence that yet has appeared. His conduct on Sunday was as usual. He never answers a question when it's put to him, but only speaks under strong compulsion. Mike, the grocer in George's Yard, dwelt a long time last evening on this peculiarity. He knows Leather Apron very well, and has known him for 6 years. He says that the man is unquestionably mad, and that anybody who met him face to face would know it. That his eyes are never still, but are always shifting uneasily, and he never looks anybody in the eye. Leather Apron used to live in the lodging house around the corner from the grocer's, and was turned out of there some months ago with an order not to return. The lodging house is a few doors below the model doorway in which the Turner woman was found with 39 stabs. Well, 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 there we go. Leather Apron and his apron of leather. And now, Dr. Watson, let us dispatch you to this place so that you can confront this Leather Apron person. Is there anything else exciting here? Oh, we can go into Holmes's room now, because Holmes is not in there. Dun, 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 dun. Hey there, Holmes. Don't mind me, I'm just checking in here for Leather Apron. No? You don't want to have any reminiscences here? There's a photo of a lady on the wall. Is that the woman? Doesn't look like her, but it might be. She's meant to be a redhead. No, you're not even going to talk about the bust that gets shot, or his famous magnifying glass, or anything like that? No? Alright. Let's go somewhere else then. Oh, I can bring up the map, can't I? Oh, okay. Places have gone. Alright, let's go to the police station first of all
Well,
then.
if I follow Holmes's instructions, then to begin my investigation into this leather apron, I must first head to the police station.
Indeed, that is why I am at the police station to drop off the note. Hello there, person whose name I don't remember. You gave me your name and you told me
Good
directions.
evening, sir. What
Thus-
do you... I know you. You were here last week with Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes! Here is a message from Holmes.
Indeed. I have come to bring a message
Queen
from
Victoria.
Sherlock Holmes for Inspector Aberline.
Very well, I will pass it on. But come to think of it, someone was asking about you recently. Finley, the caretaker of some shady boarding house nearby. Does that mean anything to you?
Ah, perhaps.
It means I can go over there and talk to him.
Actually, I read in the Star that you have arrested a suspect called Leather Apron.
You shouldn't believe what you read in that rag, sir. The man is being hunted, but we have yet to get our hands on him, and we aren't close to it either.
Why ever not?
Bah, he's a specialist in the streetwalker racket. These girls make pitiful witnesses, and we don't inspire confidence. Furthermore, the man seems to be pretty discreet lately. Someone must be helping to hide him.
You said "burr." Why was there no emphasis on that? Bah! We can't catch him. We're useless police officers. We're not the great Sherlock Holmes. No? You don't want to say those things? Alright. How can I find Leather Apron? You know, tell me how to find him, the thing that you are trying to do. People who cannot find him.
How to get on his trail, then?
One of these girls would have to confide in us and give a valid description of the man. Then we'd ask around the journeymen, who use aprons, I imagine.
Alright, thanks very much.
Well, goodbye. I must go to Finley's boarding house.
Thank you for telling me. Oh, can I just transport there from in here? I can.
I
Awesome.
must go to Finley's boarding house.
Where do you think I am, Watson? Hello, Finley. Oh, you're painting a door. I mean, you're painting it left to right, but the painting is up-down, so, you know, congratulations on defying the laws of physics, I guess?
Oh, good evening, sir. Aren't you the gentleman who was with the great detective the other time?
That's
That is
right.
indeed me, Dr. Watson.
You police said words you come hear me now see speak you.
Tell me, Finley. I
Yes,
was told that you were
you
looking
understood
for
what I
us
said
at the
perfectly.
police station.
Indeed, I wanted to thank you for last time, you know. That vagrant has never set foot round mine again. I even found a tenant, one who pays his rent, I mean.
Oh, who is this mysterious tenant who is definitely not Leather Apron?
You don't seem very happy. But you were lucky to have found a good tenant so quickly.
It's just that this man is very strange. He paid several days in advance and I gave him a key to the place. Since then, he goes out every night and returns at ungodly hours. I'm sure he goes to visit the ladies, but still, every night. And when he moved in, something must have broken in his case and stank up the stairs in his room for 2 days. I think it was a jar. It must be over there.
Alright, okay. Well, tell me
have
more
you
about
heard
Leather
talk
Apron.
of Leather Apron?
By the papers, that's all. This man seems very sinister.
Do you know any journeymen who use this type of apron?
The slaughterhouse butchers, I believe, but definitely the cobblers. I know one, old Isaac Solomonovich. His workshop is on a small street in the Jewish community, across from the hospital. He's a good man. He can help you. But you know, the people there are very close and don't share much with non-Jews.
Alright, well, thanks very much.
Finley.
At your service, sir.
Alright, so this broken bottle, is it here up the stairs? Is it the green bottle that is right there?
This odour is very strong indeed, but the whole neighbourhood as such has a dreadful stench. Finley might have an idea as to what this jar that contained.
Might do,
What
but
do you
you
want,
might
Doctor?
as well. I mean, you're a doctor, you deal with strange smelling things.
You're right, the pieces of the jar that your tenant broke do give off a strange smell.
It's true. That's quite normal given his trade.
What's
Yes,
his trade?
and what would the trade be of your strange tenant?
A doctor, like yourself, I believe. Dr. Tumblety, a foreigner. Canadian, perhaps.
Dr. Tumblety. It might be interesting to know more about him.
It might.
Thank you, Finley.
At your service, sir.
Alright, how else do I learn more about him than going upstairs to his room? Wow, we can hear flies buzzing around here. I mean, I'm not surprised, but that's usually, in a game, indication of dead bodies around here. No, nothing over there. Alright, and just you to talk to in this area. Ooh. Alright, this is where the flies are coming from. They're just in the dirt heap. And that doesn't appear to be anything right now. Alright, well... then I guess I need to find... a lady from somewhere. Oh. No, that's where they go to do their business. There we go. Oh, well. Hey there, lady.
You're in a rush, my pretty? Come, I'll have you done so quickly you'll only have time to pay.
That's... not... Oh, hang on. Hey! It's Uncle Lady. For want of a better term there. How are you? Are you alright?
Oh, it's you. I'm coming. Dr. Watson, how are you?
You recognise me, that's great. How's your
Well,
uncle?
And yourself? And how's your uncle?
Well, it slips
Yeah,
a
Uncle
lot,
Lady.
but it doesn't seem to be
What else
suffering.
did you want me to
Your
call her?
medicine has worked wonders. Thank you again.
It was the least I could do.
I could have called her niece woman, but that wouldn't have exactly worked out as well either. Hey, do you want to come and make a statement about Leather Apron?
I have come to see you about a certain Leather Apron. Have you heard of him?
Oh, yes, of course. Terrible things are said about that man.
Have you ever come across him?
Goodness gracious, no. But I know that he has threatened and taken many girls in my situation. I don't know what more I can say, but Bella would be able to tell you some.
Who's Bella? Exactly, who is Bella?
Who is Bella?
Bella Pullman. She's the landlady of the place where I could take you there if you like.
Please do.
Yep, I will go walking with you.
It's me. It's Lucy. This gentleman would like to speak to Bella. It's the doctor who helped me. I must leave to return to my uncle. Thanks again.
Don't worry, he'll be dead in a month. Oh, did I not tell you that? I didn't cure the cough. I smothered the symptoms. Yeah? Sound good? Great, I'm glad we're all on the same page now. Oh, hello.
Out of the way, I don't like the look of you.
Oh, you tough you. Ah, red light. Well. It is a Ukrainian studio that did this. Yes, I am aware it is not a...
If you'd
I
be
mean, still.
patient, Madam Bella will arrive in a moment.
Good evening. I am Dr. Watson. It is young Lucy who told me to come see you.
Ah,
Ah, so you're the good Samaritan who saved her uncle without asking for anything in return.
No, I didn't.
And now you've come to see me, no doubt, to explain that the poor little thing doesn't belong here, and you will see to her future. Well, if you expect me to let her leave with you...
What? No, I don't
It's
care
not
about that.
Ma'am. You should know I am a married man.
And why should that matter?
But I am not here for any of that. I am not the good Samaritan you think me to be. I'm having flashbacks to Friday evening when I was playing in the D&D game that was on Steam, Steal and Murder on the stream that you could have watched there, where we were not good or compassionate people either. I'm not here to help. I just need information.
I believe there has been a misunderstanding. The reason that Lucy sent me here is that you may be able to give me some information about Leather Apron.
Are you a doctor or a constable?
I am most certainly a doctor, but I am acting in this matter in a private capacity, and I would like to find this man.
Well, if you're able to rid us of him, I'll give you a week's worth of free passes. That man is a thorn in our sides. He spies on the girls in the streets and watches them inside the houses, spying through the windows. And as soon as they're finished with a client, he jumps on them without any warning and forces them to give him their money. I've never seen him, but one of my girls was attacked by this man, and she said that he wore a leather apron and carried a knife. And his face, oh, he has a horrible head, with rat's eyes and a deformed mouth. She even said that she knew his name, Pizer, or Pizer, I think. But I don't know where she can be found. Margie, Nutcracker, the girl I'm talking about, could tell you more, but I had to let her go last week.
Why? I don't know where she is. She can tell you more, but I don't know where she is. Where is she?
Why did you let Margie go?
The poor girl caught a shameful sickness, and the symptoms have attacked her face, if you know what I mean. So I gave her notice, and a little bit to help her along. I don't know where she is now, but she'll certainly be getting treatment at the clinic if she's still in the neighbourhood.
Well, I know where the
speak to
clinic dispensary is.
Who cares about the girls in the streets?
Alright. And have you heard of Tumblety, a doctor?
Would you have received a visit from another doctor, a stranger by the name of Tumblety?
I'm just like you, Doctor, sworn to secrecy in my profession. But as I've taken a fancy to you, I
Since we've
can
been
tell
talking
you
for
that
all of
this
3
name
minutes.
is not unknown to me. And if you do me a little favour, it is possible I might remember something about him.
Oh, okay. What is the favour? What errand do you wish me to run? I don't know, I was going to say, I don't know that this would make an interesting Sherlock story if you weren't controlling the person. If Sir Arthur Conan Doyle had wrote Sherlock Holmes as a series of fetch quests, I do not think he would be the enduring detective archetype that he is.
What kind of favour must I do for you?
You see that man over there? He's a rich artist, a painter, a regular client round here. Well, yesterday, he came and left his cane in the umbrella stand in the hall before going into one of the rooms. Well, when he returned to this room, the cane had disappeared. It's a cane with a massive silver knob. Must be worth a fortune. He threatened to call the police unless he got free services in my establishment for a year. I'll be forced to accept, unwillingly, of course, given the services that he's demanding, unless the cane is found.
Right, so what you're saying is, the man came in and lost his knob, and now you want me, a doctor, to find it again. Alright. No, I do not believe you could run it. Well, with severe modification. Practically rewriting the whole thing. Yes. Maybe not. Maybe it couldn't be ran as an RPG module. You know, it would take a massive Sherlock Holmes-like brain to run a modern-day version of a Jack the Ripper sort of scenario. where could we ever find one of these people?
Did you question the residents regarding the theft?
They didn't see anything, and there's not one of them that would risk stealing from a client here.
Who was in the room when your weasel of a client was in the chambers?
There were a few that came and went, but Mary could tell you better than I can, 'cause she was the one at the counter yesterday.
Alright, goodbye. Do not take too much of a shine to me.
No problem, my angel.
Oh. Yeah.
These paintings are suggestive, at the very least. These
You saying the
paintings
same thing?
are
Alright, okay.
suggestive, at the very least.
Oh.
Best
Yes.
not to stray off in that direction.
I was going to say, don't go and peer behind the curtain, Doctor, but, you know.
Best
alright.
not to stray off in that direction.
Alright, well, let's talk to Artist Man. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, my dear man. I was led to believe that you're a doctor.
None
How?
of the residents
Who?
of
What?
this establishment are among my patients, sir.
Oh, you're not here as a doctor, but as a man, then. I understand. This is my kind of place, too. It's in these houses in Whitechapel that you find the girls that are the most natural and definitely the most docile.
Your way of speaking about these women is not that of a gentleman, sir.
Tell me about your theft. Have you lost your knob?
I heard
Did it
that
fall
you were
off,
the victim of
perhaps?
a robbery here.
Oh, I'm not complaining. The loss of that walking stick will certainly bring me a very pleasant compensation.
What
me
does your
about it.
cane look like?
The stick is ebony, about 35 inches long.
It's
The
exaggerating.
round knob is made from chiseled silver with a ring around the middle of the same workmanship. Just like the tip, for that matter. If you find it, don't tell a soul. Keep it for yourself. Got it?
See that woman sitting next to you? She is only here because you have paid her to be here. And you have just said that
Well, goodbye.
she probably does not
Goodbye.
want you
Or
to
until next
continue
time.
being there.
And good evening.
Alright, well, we'll talk to the woman in just a moment. I'm going to go into first person view. Well, this was an intriguing painting. I guess, okay, she's washing herself, so that is why it might be, my word, Holmes, in this era.
These paintings are suggestive, at the very least.
Yep, okay. Hello. I want to talk to... Yeah, that's your head.
What happened to this rug?
Oh, it's when we got a coal yesterday. I asked the young man to fill the pail. Came back to put it down, but his feet were covered in soot and he made a black print. Madam Bella said it was my fault and I got a shilling's penalty. I also have to clean the print and it's no picnic. He has immense feet, that boy.
I am hesitant to ask about that coal man with his big feet, but alright.
Who delivers the coal?
It's never the same person. I'd never seen that lad before.
Oh, okay.
I heard that there was a theft yesterday.
So it
Did
might
you
have been
see
stolen
anything?
by him.
No, and I was here the whole time.
Alright. Tell me about the coat stand.
Do you always keep an eye on the coat stand?
Oh, yes. Well, when the coal delivery came, a client came out of the chambers and stopped me from seeing the boy who brought the bucket of coal. You don't think he would have taken advantage?
He might have done. Goodbye.
Until next time, miss.
With pleasure, sir.
You get back to scrubbing.
A large black footprint.
Can I take it as evidence? No, you're just going to scrub it away. Alright. That is where I currently am. I need to go to the clinic as well. Right. So yeah, let's just fast travel that. Because if she's a patient, this is where she is. That Bella person. At the dispensary clinic. Where they dispense clinics for everybody. Good afternoon, sir. Oh.
These footprints are the same as those found on the rug at the brothel.
That is not what I meant to click on. I just wanted to get a further look in here to see if you actually had patients this time. And look, you do. But, alright then, you. Tell me about these footprints, and also
Good
about
evening,
Bella.
Doctor. My name is Dr. Watson. Pleased to meet you.
Good
Doctor?
evening.
Doctor?
I am Dr. Gibbons.
Doctor?
Likewise.
Oh my god, are you just casually holding a syringe in your hands? Alright. Oh, it's not Bella, it's Margie. Yes, Bella is the other person.
I have come to see you about one of your patients. Margie goes by the nickname Nutcracker, who gets her prescription from the clinic. She's a lady of the night and is afflicted with a venereal disease.
I know who you're talking about. Indeed, Margie has syphilis and is being treated with mercury.
Do you have her address?
No. And for your information, she left London for good 3 days ago. She felt threatened.
Oh. That's a shame. Who is threatening Margie? Is it perhaps Leather Apron? Or maybe you? Are you threatening her with injecting mercury into her face? Is that the threat that she's
Margie
running away from?
But by whom?
I believe that Margie was particularly scared of a terrifying man who attacked her once.
Did she say the name Pizer or Pyther?
Unfortunately, she didn't give a name, but she described a man with shifty, rat-like eyes and a mouth twisted in a sinister grimace.
Alright, tell me about this attacker.
Did Margie have any idea where this man who terrified her so much might be found?
Let me
No,
tell you all about
but
my
she told me that
patients.
another
Exactly.
girl who'd been attacked like her had told her that this man worked in a cobbler's run by an old Israeli. Also, she saw him again last week, the night of a big fire. She told of going to see the fire like most everyone else in the area. While there, she recognised her attacker in the crowds gathered at the warehouses. There was no mistaking a face like that, she said. She kept an eye on the man the whole time the firemen were working in order to avoid him.
So, she didn't see the fire, she just saw the man and then didn't leave and go away? Because she wanted to be near the fire? Okay. I mean, maybe if it was keeping everybody warm. That'd be good. Also, I'm going to talk to you in stilted paragraphs of, like, what somebody has written down, but not an actual human conversation. Now, tell me about these footprints.
Pardon me, Doctor, but who made the large black footprints there near the beds?
The brother of one of my patients. The poor thing had a leg amputated after colliding with a carriage. We arranged to find her a prosthesis.
Prostheses are very expensive. How did this man pay?
He told me that one of his uncles gave him a walking stick with a chiselled silver knob. I agreed to accept this knob in exchange for a simple prosthesis with harness. But this object is of great value, and I could finance half a dozen other prostheses by selling it on Petticoat Lane.
You need to give it back, because the cane is stolen,
Doctor,
my good
I
sir.
have reason to believe that the silver knob that you possess is from a cane that was stolen by the man who brought it to you. And I believe I know to whom it belongs.
That's what I was worried about. The story of the uncle seemed a little strange. Nevertheless, you must have proof of what you claim. I will show you all of the knobs that we have here. If you find the knob that the young man gave me, I will believe you.
They just copied and pasted the actual newspaper text. They might have done the same with the conversations. That is very true. I like that. Alright, show me all your knobs. Show me the knobs of your patients.
So be it, but something is bothering me. I will need a complete cane, not just a knob.
Don't worry, dear chap, build one. I can loan you some tools. Make use of the odds and ends in my cupboard. It'll help get rid of it.
Alright, cool.
Well, I shall try. I will have to remember the description that Sickert gave.
Alright, well, are you not going to do that right now?
Gibbons.
No, not
Until we
goodbye.
meet again, my dear colleague.
Show me the... How do I... No? Is it the odds and ends of the cane? Alright. Somewhere? Not over here. Hey you, wake up. I want to talk to you. No? Ah, okay. Down the end here. Fine. Hello. I don't quite understand how I managed to do that, but alright. Okay, so how long is that one? Because that is 35, because I'm looking for a 35-inch cane. With a silver knob, which I think is that. Or maybe it was 35 inches up, which had a similar filigree around the top, like that. That is not 35. Oh, I suppose it is 35 inches because that's starting at 10 rather than at 0. And maybe that one at the bottom as well because it's the same.
There, all
There
done.
we go.
Holmes couldn't have done better himself.
Exactly. It looks
What can I do for
right.
you, my dear colleague?
The knob. Let me show you the knob.
I believe I found the knob from the stolen cane, which I succeeded in putting back together.
That's the one. And yet I cannot give it to you, Doctor. I will only return it to the police, and only if there is an official complaint against me.
Would there be a way to convince you to give me the cane?
Find me a dozen solid adjustable harnesses for wooden leg prostheses, and it's yours, Doctor.
Goodbye, Dr. Gibbons.
Until we meet again, my dear colleague.
Imagine going to your local grocery store and being told, no, I'm sorry, I can't give you these groceries. You will have to go and do
This
something
interview
else.
with the doctor revealed an important fact. Leather Apron could not be the Bucks Row murderer. According to Margie, the villain passed most of the night of the crime at the fire.
Yep.
He could not have been at the scene of the murder at the moment it was committed. He is nonetheless a dangerous character.
What is the ringing of the bell? Is it signalling the hour or the half hour or something? Or is it signalling that there are other things? Alright, okay. So, I need to find half a dozen prostheses. Lucy, that's her name. Okay, now I know. Have I looked at items? Oh, I've still got the glass shards. Notes. Wow, okay. Stand up first before regarding the murder. We know very little. No, that is. Yeah. Alright, okay. Well. Conclusions. Deductions, that's the same thing. Right, okay, that's what we've all seen before. So. We are at the clinic. Let's go this way and see if there is anything exciting. What are you saying?
Whitechapel Street.
Ah. Not just yet. Presumably you're talking about giving me a tip of where to go next, rather than telling me, hey, work out the tip of where the cane is, because, yeah.
Tell me, is it...
You should return home, sir.
Tell me, is it time for me to return home?
I have no reason to go that way.
Yes, you do, so that you can leave this area and be free of Holmes. And live your own life. Right, I guess what I'm looking for is... I don't know. A bunch of harnesses for the prosthesis is what we were looking for. So I might be looking to find two birds with one stone. By trying to find the guy. Right, no, we have looked at those things and heard him say Whitechapel Street or whatever it was. Ah, Bucks Row. Let's hear you say Bucks Row, please.
Bucks Row.
Thank you. Well, I mean...
Bucks Row.
That's not what I was looking at, but okay. I mean... This is... That is where it happened, right? Just there, and now you're... There.
I have no reason to go that way.
Alright, so this is the end of it. Okay, so I am over here. I've been... No, I am over here. Transport me back to the clinic. Because I have not walked down this area. I just transported myself. Hey, do you know where the person is that I'm looking for?
To ask.
Yes, you do. Several things. Let's go wandering down this dark alley. I love the material of my suit because it never dims even in dark light. It's great. It always stands out. Such a marvellous thing. Alright, say Whitechapel.
Whitechapel Street.
Thank you. Is there anything over here? No. Oh. No? Somehow you can't go through this simple thing? Nope. You can't go and sit on those benches. Alright, okay. There we go. Let me... alright, back to first person as we run down here. Hello, you.
I have nothing to ask.
I have many things to ask. Hello, sir.
No, it would be better not to insist.
Oh, alright. Oh! No, it mysteriously disappeared. Oh. Is this the... This is the brothel, right? Yep. Okay. Are you...
If you have the means, I can let you pass before everyone. But behind me.
Right, yeah, I'm trying to run away. Thanks. I could go and make an official complaint at the police station and say, somebody has stolen my cane. Let's try that. Oh, this is not the police. Oh no, of course it isn't. That's the guy over there doing his thing. It would be impolite to go there is pretty much a reason for everybody in Victorian London.
Oh, business, got it.
Huh, alright.
A man takes you in his arms at the wedding, and after, it's you who has to hold him up, and then you wind up with him on your back. Oh, I prefer clients. At least you don't have to make them anything to eat.
Well, alright, if that's the way you want to say it. Hey, can I make an official police complaint about things?
The night is cool. What a horrible summer we have had.
How very British. When things get bad and you have nothing else to talk about the weather.
Does the name Tumblety mean anything to you?
Not at all. But if you like, I can make inquiries.
Fine.
Please do.
Why not? One never knows.
Thank you.
Well, goodbye.
Alright, well I've got you to do that at least. See how much pointing and clicking I am doing from this first person perspective. I bet I can't go across this bridge.
I have no reason to go that way.
Yeah, well, alright. Do you have anything to
You're
say?
in a rush, my pretty. Come, I'll have you done so quickly you'll only have time to pay.
Yes, your friend has said that as well, but that's not what I'm looking for. Oh, you're dressed. Okay, you're just lying down. Fine. No. Ah. Wasp's Nest.
Burner Street.
Alright. Am I looking for...
The Wasp's Nest. This pub looks even more disreputable than the Golden Lion in Baker Street.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. Has that marked it on my map? It has not. Okay, interesting. And I do remember at some point in a Sherlock Holmes game, I had to go into a pub. I've played a couple in this series. I've played The Necklace. Ah, now I'm running around in a... Oh, you're not up there anymore. And running around in a circle. Alright. Now, I would ask for a tip. Because I am not certain where I am meant to be going. Unless I have to get you, convince you to do an official police complaint. I will try that while waiting for a tip to appear. Hey!
Out of the way, I don't like the look of you.
One, you want the cobbler. Yes, that is kind of who I was looking for, but the cobbler would make prosthetics as well. Okay, that makes sense. Hey, I'm going to talk to you. Do you know where the cobbler is?
Dr. Watson?
Nope. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
No
Thank you
problem, my
thank you for
angel.
remembering my name. That is, you know, very good. Do you know where the cobbler is?
Loosen your belt, my friend. You're in Whitechapel. These girls would die of hunger if we weren't here.
All right.
Well,
you
goodbye, sir.
dick.
Goodbye. Or until next time. And good evening.
Alright, you are a dick and I am trying to find your knob. You are all kinds of penis related. Let me out this door. As I am now in first person. Right. Let me look at the map. So I did look around these bits. That's the pub. There. Is that a thing that I have not been down? There. That's down towards where we found the murdered person. Oh no, I'm going entirely the wrong way. Show me the map again. Right, that's where I was. So I go through here, up here. Let's just fast travel to the clinic. And then look down this alley. Or side room. Oh! Okay. Solomon.
A cobbler's shop.
Yep. Here we are. Thank you. I did not even see your tip, but I appreciate you putting it in there when I am too stupid to see it. Now, let us go and talk to them.
There's nobody here. How very odd.
It's the middle of the night, man. Of course there's not anybody there. Well, let's just wander around then. And possibly steal a bunch of stuff. Anything here? No, just the door. Fine. Over here. Oh, no? Not a nice fire to interact with? Alright, well. Oh, harnesses!
I say, these things look like harnesses. Oh my, they are noisy. Good evening, sir. Pardon the interruption. The door was open. I didn't think that I would find anyone working at this hour.
Good evening, sir. I didn't hear you come in.
Oh, I came in through the door, but I didn't think anybody would be working. So you have no idea why I would be here. But I came in, even though I didn't think anybody would be working. Because I needed to be inside for some reason.
Say, those things that made noise,
I'm from
are really
Liverpool.
harnesses,
Indeed.
aren't they?
Yes, horse harnesses. But I
Oh.
must tell you, sir, that the store is normally closed at this hour. That is why I've asked you to return tomorrow.
You haven't asked me to return tomorrow. If that is what you are asking, that's fine.
I didn't come about my shoes. I came to speak of a cobbler, perhaps one of your former employees? A man with very particular habits.
You aren't with the police by any chance? I'm sorry, but I do not want to speak of anything but shoes with you.
I am not. Finley sends his regards.
I am not a policeman. I am Dr. Watson. It's Mr. Finley who told me that you might be in a position to inform me.
Ah, that Mr. Finley is a very brave man. And if he sent you, then you must certainly be a worthy man also. So, Doctor, who is this cobbler with strange habits?
Pizer.
The man of whom I speak is called Pizer or Pyther, a man with a frightening face. Do you know him?
Yes, John Pizer. He worked here for a while, but he is no longer here.
Oh, why not? What happened to him? Perhaps you could elaborate on things without me needing to click on the "Where is he?"
Do you know
option.
where I can find him?
No, and if you look, you will not find him.
Why?
Because he is in hiding, Doctor. You see, a week ago, a horrible murder took place in the neighborhood. A rumor circulated that he might have been responsible for this crime. They say he has quarreled with women of certain virtue in the past, if you understand me.
No, I don't understand you, because that was different to what the subtitle said. But all right, okay.
Isaac, it is about the Bucks Row case that I have come to see you. I have the certitude and an incontestable witness that Pizer is innocent, at least of this crime, although he has attacked a number of street women. If he doesn't come forward to explain himself to the authorities, he is condemned to hiding and to take the fall for this murder. Furthermore, it will cast suspicions on your community because they must be hiding him. And while the whole police force is hunting for him, they cannot concentrate on the real assassin who roams the streets and, one never knows, may take any one of you any day.
If what you say is true, your visit is a godsend to our community, Doctor. I tell you something. I know Sergeant Thick, an honest policeman who lives in the area. I'll tell John's family that he must go there to explain himself. But if you could please go as soon as possible to the police to give them this report that you say is incontestable.
I will go as soon as I take leave of you.
Thank you. If I can ever be of service in any way, do not hesitate to ask.
All right, then I will ask you about the adjustable harnesses. But just before I do... I was thinking of a thing. Right, yes, we don't have an incontestable witness. That is what I was going to say. What we have is second-hand testimony from somebody who was told that they had seen them. So, you know, I might have perhaps built up the how much of a fair shake of the stick this person is going to get. But anyway, tell me about these adjustable harnesses that you can make.
Could we transform your horse harnesses into harnesses for wooden legs? Adjustable harnesses.
A good craftsman can do anything, Doctor. And I do believe that's what I am. Come back in a while and it will be done. That will be my thanks for what you have done.
But you don't know I've done anything yet. But all right, thank you. Goodbye.
I shall return later.
At your convenience, sir.
All right.
I am spent. I would like to return home. But I promised to go to the police as soon as I could. Now then, let's go to the police station.
Indeed, that is where I was going to go next. And indeed, an Englishman's word is sacrosanct. Oh my, sir. You cannot disbelieve me. I am a doctor, and an Englishman, and an author. I don't make things up. Hello. Did he come in and talk to you? Ah. Meanwhile... Hello.
Will you?
Yes.
Hey, Doctor, you seem tired. Were you wandering the darker parts of Whitechapel all night?
You could say that. I have some information on Leatherapron, the man of whom we spoke earlier.
Do you know where he is?
No, but I can clear him of the Bucks Row crime. A witness proved him totally innocent.
Oh, then
Watson, Watson, is it only now, after many hours of walking, that you decide to pass on the important message that Inspector Aberline is waiting for?
But, no. But what are you doing here, Holmes?
I was worried, Watson, and with good reason it would appear. Go give the message to this policeman and let's go home. Nobody appreciates me hanging around here, you know, and it's freezing cold.
Ah, Creddle, none too soon. You will take the testimony of this.
No, you continue with your duty shift. I must find Chandler in Ambry Street. He's struck again.
Who?
The murderer, the Bucks Row assassin.
Hanbury Street. Let's go, Watson. We have no time to lose.
Ah, well, that's a new area to go to. Map of Whitechapel. I would love to know where Hanbury Street is. No?
I have no reason to go that way.
Oh, wait. It's that little pin. Right, I see. Not a giant thing that is popping out. Fine. And yes, I was thinking I was going to transport myself to Hanbury Street.
Watson. We have no time to lose.
And that's Humphreys. You control Sherlock Holmes. No, I do not. I mean, I do. But I think that is it for today. Let us get a save here. Do you really want to save this game? Yeah, I really do want to save this game. God help us, exclaimed a poor creature whose tawdry dress and hardened countenance indicate all too clearly the wretched calling she pursued. If the human devil who murdered all these women isn't caught, and that pretty soon too, why, I might be next. It makes my blood run cold. Nice. I like that tiny little bit of it stuff is there. That was actually a decent bit of writing there. But anyway, we will come back to Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper again on Point and Click Tuesday. On Tuesday. See how I conflate the two things by mispronouncing two or two? Isn't that great? In the meantime, I will say thank you all so very much for being here. Whether it is live and in person or later on the VOD, I do appreciate each and every one of you. Really, I do. But until then, I have been Richard, and this has been LMTDTMFFR, or, say it with me now, limited time offer. No vowels, or indeed lots of murder, as you say. Oh, and just to say, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be continuing with Ascent. But until the next time, you all have fun now. You hear?